Hey, it's Thomas Mulready from CoolCleveland.com, and we're here today at Spaces, and we're here with Executive Director Christopher Lynn. Christopher, thanks so much for talking today.
Good to see you.
You've got a really cool exhibition that you're getting ready for here that's really going to involve a lot of events over the next month. Talk about this Convention and Visitors Bureau. Are you trying to do the job that our government is doing here?
Well, we're just we're turning Spaces into the unofficial Cleveland Convention and Visitors Bureau. The idea is we wanted to highlight a lot of the kind of stranger, funkier things and different viewpoints of tourism and how that plays into Cleveland,
right,
which is oftentimes not really seen as like a real tourist destination. We can point at a few things like the Rock Hall and the museum, but I think sometimes people in the general area head elsewhere.
Sure.
But there are excellent things that are taking place here, and we wanted to be able to kind of highlight those and talk about what does it mean to make Cleveland a tourist destination.
Are you really doing that, or are the artists commenting in some ways on what Cleveland is and what it has to offer, what its assets are? Because their real Convention Visitors Bureau, Positively Cleveland, they actually do just look at the highlights and say, this is a great town, no matter if anything's going on or not.
Well, we got a little bit of both. I mean, we have artists who are looking at Cleveland as a forest succession model. Like, you know, when forests have a forest fire, things get wiped out and then new seedlings grow, and it's kind of a new opportunity. So they're talking about Cleveland through that light and allowing people to offer their own insights, like what is it about Cleveland that's growing, that's new, that's revitalizing, what is stagnating, what is a problem for growth within Cleveland. But then we have others who are looking at more under-recognized bits of Cleveland, like the Doan Brook area out around Shaker Heights, and putting together some audio tours about the history and what that area means, but with a slightly more like artistic bent to it. It's not just like straight nature conservancy sort of material.
Now, you've got a lot of events going on, both here in the gallery and throughout the community. Talk about some of these, and talk about this group, Cleveland SGS. That's a local group doing some of this stuff.
So Cleveland SGS, they're this anonymous collective that documents Cleveland ephemera and the cities, and they're creating a small shrine in our vault here, which is this small, like 6x14 room, to Reverend True. It's this idea of this guy who helped with numbers, like kind of the underground gambling side of thing historically in Cleveland. So they're creating the shrine to him. There's a large billboard at Franklin and West 25th down the street from Spaces here, kind of talking about this. It's called the Essence Unique Shrine and Showroom. So Cleveland SGS is going to be doing that, and they'll actually be speaking here at Cleveland at Spaces on June 7th.
Right.
But the interesting thing is they want to remain anonymous, so you may not actually meet them, but you'll be able to hear them talk about their projects. And then we also have a number of tours of historical and edible weeds in the Cleveland area, so you can find out about that. We also have Christopher Bustapek, who's a local historian, taking a tour of some of the under-recognized sites within Cleveland, old stone structures that people just pass by because it looks like a derelict business, but it's actually historically and architecturally very interesting.
He just published a book, and very interesting book on a unique view of the history of Cleveland. Talk about, you've got some of these tours. Alison Pebworth is doing some tours.
Well, Alison Pebworth herself is touring America.
Right.
She's got this show, it's kind of like the old road shows, or kind of even the snake oil sort of touring bits, where she's moving across America. She's doing these projects talking to people about what it means to be in America and be American. And she takes it from this viewpoint of there's this very old supposed disease called Americanitis. And it was this idea that the pace of life is becoming too frantic and that people need an elixir to help them deal with this. And it was an actual thing. So she's kind of creating these elixirs for people with their Americanitis. And so she has these beautifully painted posters that she does along the way, and when she returns back to San Francisco, she puts them up kind of like advertising like these old road shows used to do. So she will be actually not even here in the gallery. She'll have a small presence, but she will be set up off-site at Lauren Naji's studio down on West 25th during the month of June, and then during 2 days in June, I believe around the 22nd, she'll be set up in the West Side Market, kind of like a vendor of her elixir, which will be really fun.
And we never need it more than now. There's so much going on really in this town. It's kind of ironic that this show is happening when the Convention and Visitors Bureau is rocking and rolling, really. The convention and medical mart. We've got the casino opening. You got right around the corner from you here on the west bank of the Flats, new projects. It's really an interesting time in Cleveland's history. Did you plan that, or is that just sort of serendipitous that all this stuff is happening?
I mean, somewhat serendipitous. I mean, we've been thinking about this for the last year and a half, 2 years, and bringing in the artists for this and talking about different ways that we can approach it. And we didn't want it to be all rainbows and unicorns because, as we know, I think one of the essences of Cleveland is that Cleveland is not rainbows and unicorns. You talk to a Clevelander about Cleveland, and they're not, sunshiny and happy all the time about it, but that's what Cleveland is. That's one of the great things about it is the people and their attitudes about it.
Right.
So we wanted to be able to infuse that into the show as well, and let the artists talk about Cleveland from an outsider point of view, let some of the artists from inside Cleveland talk about it from an insider point of view.
Well, we couldn't be digging this more from Cool Cleveland, I'll tell you. You're speaking our language, and we are all rainbows about this town, and we have been, but it seems like there's more to talk about right now, and I can't wait to see some of the stuff you guys are going to pull off this month. Thanks so much, Christopher, for taking the time.
Thank you.
Thanks. Hey, it's Thomas Mulready from CoolCleveland.com. Have a great week in Cool Cleveland.